Tony Johnson, the PM Exam Guru with Crosswind Learning. Today in this video we're going to discuss 10 ways to deal with the ITTOs, or Inputs, Tools and Techniques and Outputs, on the PMI exams. So first I want to say, don't try to memorize all the ITTOs. The 5th edition PMBOK guide as of this recording has approximately 600 ITTOs. The upcoming 6th edition that's going to be released later this year has approximately 1,400, depending upon how you count them. So it's not realistic to expect to memorize them. Point number 2, don't let them scare you. I'm going to show you some tips here in this video that'll help you recognize recognize inputs versus tools, techniques, etc. to keep things straight. So like I said, don't let it scare you. We're going to get you there. Next, learn the order of the processes within each knowledge area. So for example, with our quick reference guide. So if we look here, I would expect come test time, you would know the order of the scope processes from start to finish, the time or schedule processes from start to finish, the cost processes from start to finish. So if you know that plan cost management creates a cost management plan, and because you studied, that's an input to estimate costs, that would be a logical relationship. So if you learn the order of the processes within each knowledge area, that's going to help you keep things straight. Also, learn 1 or 2 outputs from each process. You know, what I generally suggest to students, if you can't tell me the main reason that you do this process, you don't know the process well enough. I mean, a process, one of the either 47 or 49, depending upon if it's the 5th or 6th edition PMBOK guide, one of those processes, they might have 3 or 4 outputs. But develop project charter, the main output is a project charter. Define scope, the main output is a scope statement. So if you can't tell me the main reason that you do a process, you need to go back and study because you don't know the process that well. Now our next point, inputs and outputs are generally documents, deliverables, and the like. So in other words, a scope statement, a work breakdown structure, a change request, not a change control system, but like a change request, an approved change. So generally speaking, inputs and outputs are going to be documents or deliverables. Now our next point, tools and techniques. Tools and techniques do not include documents or deliverables. So like I said with the previous point, I could have a change request, I could have an approved change. Those two are documents, but a change control system is a tool, as an example. So if you ask yourself, does this look like a tool and technique, or does it look more like a document? If it looks more like a document, it's more likely an input or an output. Looks more like a tool or an approach to something, it's more likely a tool and technique. Also, just a quick note, we do not separate tools and techniques. Tools and techniques loosely are in the same bucket. Number 7, remember that the exam is not simply a test of the ITTOs and that everybody gets a different test. Some people get what we call the test from heck, which might be kind of ITTO heavy. Some people might not hardly see any, but the bottom line is, if you can't tell me these processes in the order they occur in within the color, scope from start to finish, etc., and the main thing that each of these processes creates, you don't know them well enough. Now, our next point here, one of these things is not like the other. This is something we did as a kid, like 3 fruits and 1 vegetable. One of these things is not like the other. Worst case, you get a question, which of the following, whether it's a situation that translates to this or just real straightforward, which of the following is a tool and technique of process X? Okay, ask yourself. Maybe I don't know, what are the whatevers of process X? Maybe I don't know. But what if you have 3 documents and one thing that you just know for fact is not a document? Look at the question. If you're being asked what a tool and technique is, and you can eliminate these 3 things because they're documents, the other one is probably your answer. Now, when we talk about our next point here, study patterns. For example, monitoring and controlling processes generally will have inputs, work performance data, and outputs, work performance information. So whether it's, a control scope, a control schedule, a control cost, a monitor stakeholder engagement or control stakeholder engagement, depending upon what version of the PMBOK guide you're looking at the time, they're going to have work performance data as an input, work performance information as an output. And that's an absolute because it's what it is. And when you hear me say absolutes, I rarely speak in absolutes with this test. So that's a good rule of thumb to remember there. Work performance data in, work performance information out. And then the final point, check that the answer fits the question. So like I said with one of the earlier points, if you can say that these three things are documents and you're being asked what a tool and technique is, and for example, develop project charter creates a charter, develop project management plan creates the project management plan, identify risk creates the risk register. If this is the only answer you have left, this is it. Back into it. There's no shame in that. So anyway, again, you don't have to memorize the ITTOs. Follow these steps. They will get you there. We also have an ITTO quick reference guide that you can get on our website at www.crosswindpm.com. It lists the main outputs, and it lists 7 rules that work with the ITTOs all the time, and then some common ITTOs as well. So if you want to minimize anxiety and maximize exam success, this and our other products will help you get there. So hopefully you got some value out of this. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up, like the video, see us at crosswindpm.com, and let us know after you pass the test how we were able to help you. Thank you.